Welcome to my fragrance show. Let's learn together and grow together. Hi, happy Friday to all. I hope everyone is doing well and wonderful and great. Permettez-moi vous présenter à la Maison de JAFRA dans les fragrances INÉGAL. INÉGAL means unequal. There's nothing like it. INÉGAL. So this one comes from the house of JAFRA. And INÉGAL is an oriental floral fruity fragrance. So one thing I was wondering, because I hear the phrase accord a lot, and I'm like, I have a musical background. I went to LaGuardia for classical vocally trained, and there are chords, and the chords have different notes that when you sung together or instruments played together, it sounds beautiful, you know. There are some chords that are considered sad chords, some chords are considered happy chords. I believe the same is true for fragrance, and I think that's why they're called an accord. So it's not the car, the accord. So in this case, what is an accord, a fragrance accord? A fragrance accord are notes as individuals that are blended together that create a distinct fragrance. And that fragrance that you smell all the notes put together is called an accord. Okay, so this fragrance, INÉGAL Femme, has the notes of vanilla, peach, musk, wood, rose, and ylang ylang. So that's how come it's called a floral oriental fruity fragrance. And so depending where you purchase it, it can be $9.99 or it can be towards $40. So this is the bottle. It looks really nice. All right. It's plastic, cheap top. And this is, of course, first impressions. Something I noticed is depending on what you eat, that's how you're gonna smell. So earlier on, I had mentioned how each of our individual as people nostril is as unique as a fingerprint. Also, what we eat affects how we process the smell, because if you're eating something spicy, that's gonna affect how the notes you're gonna analyze or assess how your olfactory senses are able to process it. It affects it. So I made sure to brush my teeth, floss. I did everything. I did have a little bit of coffee simply because coffee helps to neutralize other smells. So that's all I have right now. So I'm going to be able to give you an honest first impression. And for you. Ooh, I automatically smell the rose. So in the opening, yes, you get the rose, you get the ylang ylang. It is very fresh. It smells very clean. I gotta tell you, this is a really good smell. INÉGAL Femme. At least in the opening, because remember, the opening can tell you one story, and then when you get to the heart, or you get to the the base note, you're like, oh no, I don't like this story. I don't like this story. I don't want to buy the book. But yes. Now it does kind of remind me of not necessarily bath water. This is a eau de parfum, by the way. It's an eau de parfum. But it reminds me, something about it reminds me of Palmolive, the clean smell of Palmolive. So that might be the musk, because it is oriental. So oriental usually is like something, depending on the wood that's used or the an herb or whatever. So that, you know, but it smells, for me right now, it's staying floral with an oriental twist. So oriental floral. That's exactly what it smells like. It smells like a really good oriental floral. So even though the top is cheap, the juice inside is not cheap. It smells good. It doesn't smell synthetic, although of course we know it does have synthetics in it for obvious reasons. There are musks. Musks, it used to be taken from the deer, but it no longer is. Now they synthesize musks. There's different types of synthesized musks. The next fragrance that I am going to be giving a first impression, also de la Maison de JAFRA. This one is called Flores by Rodrigo Flores Rue. Flores. And if you know, flores is flowers in Spanish. Flores. So we went from French a Espanol. So flores, flowers. And this one is called a fresh floral oriental. So remember, usually when it says fresh, it's because there's some sort of a citrus. You know, floral for obvious reasons, flowers, and oriental might mean the musk, it might mean the wood, it might mean the spices. It just, that's what it is. And oriental literally means Eastern. Okay, Eastern. Occidental is Western. Eastern. Oriental means Eastern. So that's all it really means. It just means the Eastern hemisphere of this planet. Okay. Okay, here you go. 2 for me, 1 for you. Ooh, you know what this immediately reminds me of? Just the opening, because it's so citrus. Bleu de Chanel. That's how much citrusy it is, and it does have a fresh orange at the top note. Okay, so it has orchid. That's the floral. So the fresh is the orange that we smell. The floral is the, it's called, let me see, it's called Brassavola orchid, which gives a lipsticky smell, like the old school 1980s hard lipsticks, you know. And then it has musk at the end. That's why it's oriental. So I'm gonna get some coffee to smell and drink a little bit. Okay, so can I be honest with you guys? They both are really, really good. I mean, you will have to forgive their tops being so cheap, but what I can tell you is that the juice inside is not cheap. So these are 2 women's fragrances. And from reviewing, I saw that they both had middle. It was at the middle, so it's like it'll last you 6 hours of moderate projection, meaning maybe the INÉGAL had over an arm's length for 6 hours, and the Flores had up to about an elbow's length for 6 hours, and then it kind of started leaning towards closer to the skin. I haven't personally done the whole day of wear, but I can tell you between the 2, INÉGAL is unequaled. Couldn't really compare it to anything. Flores for me would be the equivalent of what, of what a female's blue fragrance should be. So if I had to pick, I give the INÉGAL a 7 out of 10. I give the Flores a 8.5 out of 10. I think this one is better. So that was it. Now, guys, another thing I wanted to share with you is sometimes it didn't break. It's okay. Sometimes we're not able to purchase fragrances. So now what can we do? This is what you can do. Get a good detergent that works together well with a good fabric softener. The reason I have these 2 in specific is because I've realized that when you wash with Fab and this particular Suavitel, the clothes smell like you're wearing a really nice fragrance, and it lasts for days. So that's my little hint. Okay, so that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed the first impressions, and the little bit of conversation that we had. And I hope to see you again soon, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. I also have a hair channel, which is Marshall's Blends Hair. If you're interested in hair or watching me be a clown somewhat, you can go check it out. Okay, so goodbye, my lovely Marshall Blenders. I'll see